This is a kingdom built on the rooftop of a continent, a nation whose lowest point is higher than that of any other on Earth. A fortress of stone and sky, completely surrounded by a single, powerful neighbor, yet a world apart. There are no oceans here, no major industries, and very few natural resources in the conventional sense. Survival itself is a daily challenge against the thin air, the harsh elements, and the unforgiving terrain. Yet, for more than 2 million people, this is not just a place of existence. This is home. They have learned to read the weather in the clouds, to find wealth in the fleece of a goat, and to draw life from solid rock. They wear their history on their shoulders and carry their identity on their heads. So what is the secret of this mountain kingdom? How have the Basotho people turned one of the world's most challenging landscapes into a bastion of culture and a unique, resilient way of life? The answer is as extraordinary, as complex, and as powerful as the mountains themselves. Life in the Highlands begins with a greeting, a phrase that is both a salutation and a philosophy. Kotso, Pula, Nala. Peace, rain, prosperity. It is more than a simple hello. It is a shared hope, a prayer spoken into the mountain air, encapsulating the 3 pillars upon which this nation is built. Kotso, peace. It is a wish born from a history of turmoil, speaking of the nation's founding as a sanctuary from the wars that ravaged the plains below. Today, it reflects a deep-seated desire for social harmony, a quiet and gentle way of interacting that surprises many outsiders. Pula, rain. In this high, dry land, rain is the most precious gift imaginable. It is the difference between a full stomach and a hungry winter. The land thirsts for it, and its arrival transforms the brown, sleeping hills into a vibrant tapestry of green. Rain is life, so revered that the national currency itself is named after it. And Nala, prosperity. In the mountains, prosperity is not measured in bank accounts or stock portfolios. It is measured in the health of the livestock, the number of fat sheep and strong cattle. It is seen in the full stores of maize and sorghum that will see a family through the long winter. It is heard in the laughter of healthy children, their school fees paid, their futures a little brighter. What immediately strikes those who visit is the quiet intimacy of life. There are no fences separating homes here, no walls to keep neighbors out. A child does not belong to just one mother and father, but is raised by the entire village. If a child is hungry, they are fed by whichever home they wander into. If they are in trouble, they are corrected by any elder who sees them. This collective responsibility, this sense of a shared human fabric, is the shield that has helped the Basotho endure every hardship. The morning feels like a slow, collective awakening. The scent of wood smoke from cooking fires curls from the thatched roofs of traditional stone homes, mixing with the earthy smell of the soil after a cool night. The sounds are of the people themselves, voices carrying from one home to another in easy conversation. The rhythmic thump of maize being pounded into flour, the distant melodic call of a shepherd to his flock. It is a life lived in communion with the elements. Here, you do not check a weather app on a phone. You watch the clouds gather over the Maloti Mountains. You feel the shift in the wind. The mountain tells you everything you need to know. This deep connection to the natural world isn't a choice. It is the fundamental reality that shapes every aspect of a person's existence. To understand the Basotho people, you must first understand their land. Lesotho is the only country on Earth that lies entirely above 1,000 meters. It is a vertical world of basalt cliffs and sandstone valleys, a kingdom of plateaus and peaks. This altitude is not just a geographical statistic. It is the silent, invisible force that governs everything. It dictates what can be grown, where homes can be built, and how people travel. The thin, rocky soil makes large-scale agriculture a constant struggle. Fields are not vast, sprawling things, but small terraced patches carved into the hillsides with immense effort. The winters are harsh and unforgiving, with heavy snowfall that can isolate entire villages for weeks, turning them into islands in a sea of white. The geography itself creates a natural isolation, not just from the outside world, but between communities within Lesotho. A village that appears tantalizingly close on a map might be a full day's journey away on foot or horseback, separated by a deep, impassable river canyon. This isolation has forged a spirit of profound self-reliance and deep community bonds. When you are hours from the nearest town, your neighbor is your doctor, your mechanic, your emergency contact, and your closest friend. Survival has always depended on cooperation, on the knowledge that you are stronger together than you are apart. This reality is woven into the very fabric of the nation's history. The Basotho nation itself was founded in the early 19th century by the visionary King Mokorotlo I. He was a diplomat, more than a warrior, a leader who understood the power of unity. He gathered disparate clans and brought them to the natural mountain fortress of Basotho, the mountain at night, to seek refuge from the devastating regional wars known as the livestock. From this flat-topped mountain, he built a nation based on diplomacy, strategic defense, and a radical idea for the time, offering sanctuary to his former enemies. He understood that the mountains were his greatest ally. They provided protection, a natural fortress that was nearly impossible to assail. That legacy endures today. The mountains that once provided physical protection now shape the character of the people. Resilient, patient, independent, and deeply connected to the land that has always sustained them. Life is the way it is here, because the mountains have willed it so. As the morning sun climbs higher, casting sharp shadows across the valleys, the rhythms of the day become clear. For children in the mountain villages, the school day begins with a journey. This is no ordinary walk to a bus stop. It can be a trek of 5, sometimes 10 kilometers, across hills, through valleys, and sometimes across icy rivers. They walk in groups, their chatter and laughter a stark contrast to the immense silence of the landscape around them. Their journey is a testament to the value their families place on education, a path to a different future. Walked one determined step at a time. For other children, work begins just as early. The responsibility of herding sheep and goats is often passed down through generations. A boy of 10 can possess the knowledge of a seasoned farmer, understanding the land with an intimacy born of daily experience. It is a solitary life, spent under the vast, indifferent African sky, but it teaches a deep understanding of the natural world. The subtle signs of changing weather, the best grazing spots, the medicinal properties of wild plants, and the ever-present threat of livestock thieves. In the small towns, the day moves to a different beat. Markets are the economic and social heart of the community. They are a vibrant explosion of color, sound, and scent. Women sit behind piles of fresh vegetables, bags of maize meal, and handcrafted goods, the air is filled with the murmur of negotiation and the warmth of exchanged greetings. This is where news is shared, gossip is traded, friendships are reaffirmed, and the hard work of farmers finds its way to the family table. The cost of goods here tells a story of transportation. A bag of potatoes or a bundle of carrots represents not just the farmer's labor, but the long and difficult journey by truck, or even by donkey, from a remote mountain farm to this very stall. As the afternoon sun begins to dip, its light softening to gold, the scene returns to a rural homestead. Life draws inward, families gather, the work of the day is done, and the focus returns to the home. Men tend to the animals, securing them for the night in the stone-walled kraal. Women prepare the evening meal over an open fire, the process slow and deliberate. The evening meal is simple, often consisting of papa, a stiff maize porridge that is the staple of the diet, and moroho, a relish made from wild greens or beans. It is a meal earned from the land, prepared with care and shared together. When darkness falls, a deep and complete darkness unbroken by city lights, and the cold mountain air settles in the valleys, another tradition comes alive: storytelling. With no electricity in many rural homes, the evening is a time for connection. An elder will gather the children, their faces captivated in the warm glow of a single candle or paraffin lamp. They pass down the history of their people, tales of the great King Moshoshu, fables of cunning animals that teach moral lessons, and the lineage of their own family. It is in these quiet, intimate moments, around a flickering light, that the culture is kept alive, passed from one generation to the next, a precious, invisible thread connecting the past to the future. You cannot speak of life in Lesotho without speaking of the blanket. It is seen everywhere, on everyone, from shepherds in the Highlands to businessmen in the capital city. But this is not just a garment for warmth in a land of cold winters. The Basotho blanket is a story woven in wool, a statement of identity worn with immense pride. Originally introduced by European traders in the 19th century, it was embraced by King Moshoshu I and quickly integrated into the culture. Each design, each color, each pattern has a meaning. The Siana Morena, the chief's blanket, signifies status and respect. There are blankets for weddings, for births, for the passage of a boy into manhood. It serves as a coat in the day, a bed at night, a shield against the biting wind and driving rain, and a proud, unmistakable symbol of national identity. To see the blanket is to see the soul of the Basotho people. Equally symbolic is the Mokorotlo, the conical grass hat, whose shape is inspired by the peak of Mount Kilone, a mountain that stands near the fortress of Basotho. Its elegant, simple form is found on the nation's flag and on its license plates. It represents the very essence of the Basotho nation, a people unified, sheltered by the mountains that define their world. Faith is a cornerstone of life. On Sundays, the sound of hymns echoes through the valleys. Church gatherings are not just religious services, they are profound community events. The entire village attends, dressed in their best clothes. It is a time to come together, to share struggles and celebrate joys, to find strength in shared belief. The music is a force in itself. Deep, soulful, four-part harmonies that rise and fall with an emotional power that can move one to tears, expressing a history of both hardship and unwavering hope. These are not traditions reserved for special occasions or performed for tourists. They are woven into the fabric of the everyday. They are seen in the way a man rides his horse, not as a novelty, but as a fundamental and often necessary mode of transport. The sure-footed Basotho pony is a partner in survival, capable of navigating treacherous mountain paths where no vehicle could ever go. Traditions are heard in the songs sung while women work in the fields, their rhythms making the hard labor feel lighter. They are felt in the shared meal at the end of the day, a communion of family and community. In Lesotho, culture is not something you observe in a museum. It is something you live, breathe, and wear every single day. The story of Lesotho is not a single story. Life in the capital Maseru is a world away from the quiet, cyclical rhythms of the mountain villages. Here, nestled in a valley on the country's western edge, the day is governed by the clock, not the sun. The sounds are of traffic, of minibus taxi horns, of commerce. People work in government offices, in the large textile factories that are a major source of employment, and in modern shops and banks. Maseru is a city of aspiration, a magnet drawing people from across the kingdom in search of jobs, higher education, and a different kind of life. It offers opportunities that the rural highlands cannot. Here, you will find universities, specialized hospitals, and a direct connection to the global economy. But this modern life comes with its own set of challenges: the high cost of living, the daily struggle to find work, the anonymity of city life, and the feeling of being disconnected from the land and the tight-knit communities left behind. The contrast is stark. In a mountain village, wealth is measured in livestock and land. In the city, it is measured in cash. In the village, your identity is inextricably tied to your family, your clan, and your place. In the city, you are one among thousands, striving to make your way. Many families live suspended between these two worlds. A father might work in the mines in South Africa or a factory in Maseru for months at a time, sending money back home to his family in the village. A mother might sell her farm's produce in a town market to pay for her children's school fees. It is a constant balancing act, a negotiation between the pull of tradition and the push of modern economic reality. Many young people who move to the city for work make the long journey back to their home villages on weekends and holidays, shedding their city clothes for the traditional blanket, trading the language of the workplace for the dialect of their home, reconnecting with the roots that still define them. For the majority of Basotho living in rural areas, the earth is the only employer. Subsistence farming is the foundation of life. Families grow what they need to survive: maize, sorghum, beans, and vegetables. The work is physically demanding, done mostly by hand, with simple tools. Any small surplus is sold at local markets for a little cash. But the high altitude, a short growing season, unpredictable weather, and centuries of soil erosion make farming a precarious existence. The true wealth of the highlands is not in the soil, but on the backs of the sheep and Angora goats. Lesotho is renowned for producing some of the world's finest mohair and wool, prized for its quality and softness. For shepherd families, the annual shearing season is the most important time of the year. The income from selling the fleece at a government-run shearing station must be carefully managed to last an entire year. That single payment must buy food, pay for school supplies, cover any medical emergencies, and see the family through until the next shearing. Managing a household budget here requires immense skill and foresight. A family's income might come from multiple, often unreliable sources: a small government pension for an elder, the sale of a few animals, and crucially, remittances sent from a relative working abroad. For generations, the mines of South Africa have been a primary source of employment for Basotho men. A difficult and dangerous life undertaken to support families back home. The cost of living is a constant pressure. Because Lesotho is landlocked and has to import so many goods, food, fuel, and clothing are expensive. A simple bag of groceries can cost a significant portion of a family's monthly income. Transportation is another major expense. A journey in a shared minibus taxi from a remote village to the nearest town can be costly, but it is essential for accessing markets, clinics, and government services. In this economic landscape, every loti, the local currency, is accounted for. Nothing is taken for granted, and resourcefulness is a necessary virtue. In Lesotho, nature is not a backdrop for life. It is an active, powerful participant in the story of every day. The arrival of the summer rains, the pula, is a moment of profound, collective celebration. After the long, dry winter, the first rains transform the dusty, brown landscape into a vibrant carpet of green. Rain means the crops will grow. It means the rivers will flow, providing water for drinking and for the animals. It is so central to life that it is the highest blessing one can bestow upon another. But the same nature that gives life can also take it away with terrifying speed. The winter snows, while beautiful, can cut off entire communities, making travel impossible and threatening the survival of livestock caught in the open. A sudden, violent hailstorm in summer can wipe out an entire season's crops in a matter of minutes, destroying a family's food supply for the year. This constant presence of nature's power shapes the way people think and plan. Farmers plant their crops according to ancient knowledge of the seasons and the stars. Shepherds know which valleys offer the best protection from the wind and which plants are poisonous to their flock. Every decision is made with the mountain in mind. The Great Katse Dam, one of the largest in Africa, stands as a modern testament to this relationship. It is a massive engineering project that harnesses the power of Lesotho's abundant water, its white gold, to generate electricity and to sell water to its thirsty neighbor, South Africa. It is a source of national pride and income. Yet for the people living in the villages, the most important water source remains the local spring, a place of gathering and a lifeline for the community, as it has been for generations. Life in the kingdom, in the sky, is changing. The challenges of the 21st century are making their way up the winding mountain roads, bringing both promise and new pressures. Access to quality healthcare in remote areas remains one of the biggest hurdles. A trip to the nearest clinic can be an arduous day-long journey on horseback or foot. For many, a local nurse or a visiting mobile clinic, sometimes run by the Flying Doctors Service, is their only connection to modern medicine. The desire for connection to the wider world is strong, especially among the youth. While internet access is growing in the cities, it remains a rare luxury in the mountains. Young people are caught between two worlds, the deep-rooted traditions of their elders, and the promise of a globalized future they see on their screens. Many face a difficult choice: stay and continue a life of farming and herding, a life of hardship but also of deep meaning, or leave for the cities or for South Africa in search of work, often facing an uncertain future in a world that can be unwelcoming. Climate change is no longer an abstract concept here. It is a visible, daily reality. More erratic rainfall patterns, prolonged droughts, and heavier, more destructive storms are making farming even more difficult. The erosion of the fragile topsoil is a slow-motion crisis, with deep gullies called dongas scarring the landscape, carrying the nation's most precious resource out to sea. Yet, in the face of these challenges, the Basotho people continue to do what they have always done. They adapt, they endure, and they innovate. Community-led projects are working to combat erosion by planting trees and building retaining walls. Small-scale solar panels are slowly bringing light and power to remote homes, allowing children to study after dark. And a new generation of entrepreneurs is finding ways to blend tradition with modern opportunities, from community-based tourism that offers visitors an authentic experience, to exporting high-quality crafts and textiles to a global market. With all the hardships, all the challenges, the question remains: why do people stay? Why do they continue to call these demanding, unforgiving mountains home? The answer is not something you can easily measure or quantify. It is not about economics or convenience. The answer lies in a feeling, a deep and powerful sense of belonging that is becoming increasingly rare in the modern world. It is knowing the names of every family in your village and knowing they know yours. It is the unbreakable bond of family, the comfort of community, and the profound sense of identity that comes from this land. To live in Lesotho is to understand that wealth is not what you own, but what you are a part of. It is the peace that comes from the immense silence of the mountains. It is the freedom of the wide open spaces. It is the pride of a nation that was never colonized, a kingdom that has always carved its own path, protected by its mountain walls. People stay because this is more than just a place to live. It is the home of their ancestors, whose spirits are felt in the whispering wind. It is the land that holds their stories, their memories, and their hopes for the future. It is the source of their strength, their resilience, and their unshakable spirit. In a world that is constantly rushing forward, a world of noise and distraction, the kingdom in the sky remains a place of profound stillness. It is a reminder that a meaningful life can be built from the simplest, most essential things, from the land, from the rain, and from each other. And it is here, in the heart of the mountains, that the Basotho people continue to live. Their lives a quiet, dignified testament to the enduring power of peace, rain, and prosperity.